welcome to Full 42. Look at that. We're actually sort of on time for us. 1 minute late. That's early, right?
I think you hit the video when it still said 900, so I think that counts. If we're live and no one's commented and busted our balls in the comments already, I think we're good.
Now you're just egging them on to comment like an hour early next time or something.
That means they're watching, so that's cool.
True. So we are covering the top five, our top five movies of 1993. Man, this was a tough one. We'll get into it. We are not late.
Yep.
You're late. We'll get into it. This was a tough one for me. I feel conflicted. I hope there are crossovers so I can push in some other ones.
Guaranteed there's crossovers.
I can guarantee. There's at least 2 or 3. There's got to be at least 3 I don't think we've had 3 crossovers in a year yet.
No, I think there's
had these weird ones.
There might be a couple in here too. I'm going to star the 3 I think are going to be crossover. Oh man, there could be 4. I starred 4. Let's see.
It's not a beard. I just haven't shaved for like a week.
It's funny. I just shaved and you haven't shaved.
Nice. You shaved? That doesn't look like shaving.
Yeah. You should have seen on Friday show. It looked like I had. Well, it still kind of does, but a fucking November mustache. Stupid. Eric.
Brandon. So, we're going to cover that. And before we do that, we're going to do announcements like usual. Get the stuff out of the way. What was that?
But first.
Did I forget something? Oh, yeah. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. I did forget something.
I know. I'm so used to it Fridays. I do it Friday because I know Wes is going to bust my ball, so it keeps me like.
That's good. That's good. Well, as part of the announcements, why don't we start the announcements and we can bring up both of the other shows that are going on right now, right?
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Yeah, so, now you didn't switch it over to announcements.
There you go.
All right, so first we want to say this is the play. You did a Saturday one.
Fucking heaven. I swear, that's how, if I see you, that's how you should end. If it's a booth at a convention or whatever.
He will.
Yep, I want butt first.
I want that clip. That sound clip. So this is the play. You had one on Saturday. Did you do it on Saturday instead of Friday, or did you have an extra one?
No, we did it on Saturday instead of Friday.
Oh, okay.
There was a lot going on Friday, and coming back from Origins and having the kids, I had to go get the dog, and I was going to be late. So instead of rushing it, we had other things going on. We just decided to do it on Saturday.
Cool.
Also, I think next week we're doing it on Sunday because he has people in. So this week, this is the play will be on Sunday, and we're going to be playing this bad boy right here, which
nice.
Yeah, we played it on the show a couple months ago, and Sam, who is just an awesome human, gave me a copy at Origins so we can play it live on the show. We can also play it live, like the physical bits of it, the boards, everything is absolutely beautiful.
Awesome. Yeah, the if you can't see it, Forges of Ravenshire. Yeah, when we played that on the show, I went and backed it. While we were on the show, I think I was like, click, click. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was a good game. So since you guys float around, the best way to get notified is to hit the little bell, right? Bing.
Correct. Yes.
Hit the little bell.
Yep.
And
join
those things pop up.
I post in our Discord too. We have the episode link for this show, and we have the episode link for This Is the Play. So the links for that also go up in the Discord.
I think the Discord link is in the description of this thing as well. If you're not in the Discord, we hang out there. We bust each other's balls and
sure do
make fun of each other, basically. So,
oh, sorry, Dave. Also, you could come and play it anytime you want to. You're a lot closer than Eric, so.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I should stop looking at our general chat because I don't know what you. Okay, I don't know what the Dixit is as a game, but it just popped up as I moved the scroller. And okay, I got to get out of our Discord because that's
Yeah,
distracting.
that thing, it's bonkers. It's Wes has been talking about that forever now, and it's literally a game about stretching your butthole. I'm not. Yep, and it was on Kickstarter, and I thought like, all right, whatever. But it raised over $66,000. Yep,
Wow.
yep. Like a lot of people. Yep, and they're not all West. I figured West would have bought a few copies. But yeah.
It let me know if you're going to play that on a episode, so I know to miss that episode because I don't want to see.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that show.
I don't want to see it either. I really don't. I really don't. Also, how you doing, Sam?
Oh yeah.
So he didn't have it at Origins. He actually, the shipping was delayed. He had his brother camping out in Orlando, around Orlando, somewhere in Florida, because the shipping was supposed to be there on Friday, and then there was a miscommunication between when the shipping was going to go from the shipping company. So let me shut that off. Sorry. So he actually didn't have it for Origins, but he'll have it for Gen Con. If you're obviously you'll be at
That's
Gen Con.
cool. Yeah. Cool. So besides that, we also have a show Scryfy going every week. I keep wanting you to join, but you know, schedules are weird and stuff. Maybe you can make this week. That'd be cool.
I don't know if you want me on it.
I do. There are plenty of times I've said, "Hey, we're about to shoot in like 2 hours," and you're like, "Oh, I can't because of this." And
no, not.
The problem is you have meetings and stuff on
I
Wednesday, which is the day after that it comes on.
Correct, but I'm not
absolutely want you on there.
I'm not saying it's because you don't want me on because you haven't given me links or the opportunity. It's because I might shit all over it, and I don't know if that's going to be good for the show.
Well, we got our first like hater comments. I even had to delete one because it was a little further than we wanted, and that was kind of cool. Still no thumbs down. Like they took the time to write how we were pathetic or didn't like her or whatever it was,
Sure.
but no thumbs down. So I don't know. I'd rather a thumbs down than nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't watched the episodes of it with you and your brother yet to see what you think about it.
Interesting.
I'm hopeful. I was going to watch them all together after I've let my hatred settle a little bit, especially from the last episode. Okay.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Well, this isn't that show, so we shouldn't go into it too much because we don't want to do spoilers and stuff like that. But yeah, we'd be arguing. We'd be arguing.
We would agree on some things, and I think we would disagree on more things. But
interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll discuss off camera so we don't spoil anything. Or you can come on the show and then we can get different perspectives.
Yeah, I bet you're 5 in. I know I obviously couldn't do it last week because I was in Origins, but tomorrow is the last episode, correct? It was only a 6.
No, it goes up to 8.
Oh, I thought it was a 6. Okay, then maybe I'll join.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll join.
Yeah. So anyway, we're just I don't even know if I said we're discussing the show The Acolyte on Disney Plus. So if you want to see our reactions, my brother and I reactions, and maybe Mike's if he shows up this week or later, then go check out Scryfy. It's on our channel. Any other announcements before we get to Luca painting?
Nothing that I can necessarily talk about.
That would be denouncements? No, that's not right.
No, that'd be spoilers. There's one coming. I think it's going to be pretty crazy, but there's going to be one coming a little later. I told so Friday or Sunday is going to be Forges of Ravenshire. Monday is going to be, I believe, on our show. Monday is going to be Daryl Andrews. I just need to confirm to make sure today. Yep. Oh, happy Canada Day for the friends of ours that are north of the border.
Oh, right. I saw that.
So I think next week is going to be Daryl. So I'll check with him and make sure. Also, I got this one at Origins from my friend Mark at Grand Gamers Guild.
Oh, I've seen the cover of that. I don't know anything about it though.
It's got no hidden information. It's a lot of engine building. I just don't know if it would translate well with my dumb phone, which likes to be blurry as shit. But I do want to play this one. This one looks really cool. It's got some really cool things going on in it, and I like the way that the engine building is working. It's got that tucking kind of mechanism where if you pull off a thing, you also pull off whatever you tucked underneath it, kind of like Space Base. Not Space Base, but it's got that mechanism of it. It looks really neat. So that's coming too. If you haven't seen it yet. What else do I have? I don't have anything. I don't think.
See that down there?
Oh my! Oh, you're all right. Luca Pani's coming this Saturday. If you're local to me in Syracuse, in Rochester, I'll be at Millennium, which is the biggest game store in the country, showing off 3WS stuff. So they'll have charcuterie to buy. They'll have a couple of the cheese bags. We'll be giving away a bunch of stuff and showing off some things that are coming in our pipeline that we've definitely played and shown on this show and This Is the Play before. So if you're around Saturday from I think it's 11 to 5 are the demos. I'll be there 10-ish till 5-ish. So
what city is that?
It's in Rochester, New York. It's called Millennium Games.
How far is that from you?
It's about an hour 15, maybe.
How far is it from Buffalo?
Rochester or Syracuse? Rochester. I'm about 220 from Buffalo, so it's probably an hour from Buffalo.
Huh. We ought to take the trip sometime whenever I'm up there.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
I mean, they do it. There's the Museum of Play is also in Rochester, which is really.
I never went to that one either.
Daryl sets up a trip there every year from the gathering, and it's a fun thing. And then they just moved. Millennium just moved to a new location. It's fucking huge. Nice. Yeah, so we'll be there Saturday if you're around.
Very cool. All right. Well, the general chat is demanding Luca painting.
I see that. He is in demand now. Okay, I have it here if you're ready.
So for those that it's new.
Where's the thing?
Where's what thing?
The picture.
Thing? Oh, that thing. Yeah. I was going to explain what it is. This one? No, not that one.
Not that
one. This one.
There it is.
We're just going to leave it up. We can
just leave it. We'll just hang it over here. Yeah, that's Luca. That's a rendition of Luca from Bianca. She is an amazing artist, working on a couple things that I know of him painting a picture that she has actually. But yeah, he's 2.5, little over 2.5, and he's been doing watercolors since 2 Decembers ago. He loves them, and I'm trying to get him now to name them, which is a new thing. Happy Canada Day, Matt.
Happy Canada Day. Canada Day.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get him to name them.
Roy Canada?
No. So this is today's. Oh, and what we do is we look at it and we figure out how deranged we are.
What do we see in it? Rorschach test kind of thing. Yep.
So this was today's. He literally did it today.
Nice. Still wet.
And no, it's not wet. And here it is.
Oh, I like the greens.
Yeah, the green and the yellow.
I prefer yellow greens over bluish greens. Everybody has their own greens, though. That's so weird that they're separated like that. All right, so what do we see, chat? What's everybody see? I kind of feel like there's whatever the top green thing is, something has fallen out and gone splat on the ground. Trying not to go weird or gross with it, but
I mean, it does look like that.
It's because of the action spots. We got
well, I like Evans. That's good.
Manta Ray fruit that drops a lemon. Yeah, see.
Well done.
Flip it up. So no, we're not flipping it upside down. This is the way it is. But if we did, he'd say volcano and the yellow is the sun. It's a perfect match for the windshield.
Mm-hmm.
Splat. Clearly a flying frog lamenting losing his lemonade. Yeah. Ooh, dragon. I like dragon. Dropping a treasure chest. Ooh, I can actually see the dragon. There's like a big gob in the middle of it. That's like a kind of like a head that does this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the wings going out. Maybe dropping a dragon egg. Although that's a sad one. Frog swimming under a lily pad. Ooh, that's nice. Evan nailed it.
Is that Dave being lazy and not coming up with his own thing? Brandon, I like that one. I'm very excited
For Wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
I've seen it 3 times. I'm very, you know, they're going to take some liberty with the movie. I get it, but I'm very excited for that one.
I've never seen it. I've always wanted to because I like the music.
Oh, it's fantastic, and the book's good. I mean, what he does with the back end of like behind the curtain, so to speak, it's really good.
Eric says, "Find a reflection of a volcano." Fair enough.
Okay.
Everything's going to be a reflection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what do you see? What did you see when you made it?
I kind of, this one's harder for me because he was telling me what he was making when he was making it. But I can't help seeing, and I think of Dave and Di with this a pineapple on the bottom.
I can see pineapple.
Yeah, it looks like a pineapple. So
why do those two come up with pineapple?
It's the thing with couples and conventions. They know. Okay. They know. We talked a little bit
inside
about
joke stuff.
I mean, kind of, but you know, if you look up couples and pineapples, you probably figure it out.
Pineapples always make me think of Psych. You ever see the show Psych?
Yes. Yep, for sure. But so the name of this is Dinosaur.
Oh, nice. All right.
So it's
Could be a pterodactyl.
It's a pterodactyl. Yep. Yeah. And then he was trying to do something on the ground.
Bungo. Trying to do something on the ground?
Well, I don't know what exactly that was. Like maybe the pterodactyl was dropping something or it's a shadow. I have no idea, but that was definitely his purpose reason was a dinosaur.
Pineapple swinging from the window.
That works.
Yeah, it's a nice one. I like the greens.
Yeah, it was good.
Cool. And we do that every week.
Yep. And he did 7 today. 6. He did 6 today.
Do we already know 6 of them? Wow. And that you picked that one, like you go through the 6 and go, I like this one best?
Nope.
Or
I actually asked him which one he wanted me to show on the show, and he picked that one.
That's nice.
Yeah.
A pterodactyl egg. I like saying the P even though you're not supposed to.
A pterodactyl.
Andrew.
Howdy.
So what is Canada Day? Is it like the day that they became Canada, or is it like a Thanksgiving thing, or what is it?
No, Thanksgiving is still November, but I think it's November 10th-ish. Somewhere around there.
It was like a whole month before or something. I could be wrong.
Oh, maybe it's October. I don't know. I'm close to Canada, but I don't know.
I'm very, very far away.
Matt, what is Canada Day? What are you celebrating on Canada Day?
Canada.
Today was Confederated. There you
go. Okay. I guess that's our July 4th, right?
Yes.
The first discovery of maple syrup. I would celebrate that day with pancakes. Ooh, pancakes. I think I just named my dinner after this. That's a weird dinner, but sometimes you got to do it. Can't. Okay, now it's starting to. 1867. I didn't know it was that young.
See, we learn a lot on this show.
Yeah, look at that.
All right, now I'm getting hungry.
Ooh, waffles. Ooh, okay. Everybody, waffles or pancakes? Say in the comments which one's better. What do you think, Mike?
Waffles.
Really?
Yeah.
I could totally see it. It's weird. It's like if I want something soaked and drowned in syrup, I go pancakes. But waffles, waffles you could put like, and I know you could do it with pancakes, but you could put all kinds of fruit and stuff and cinnamon, and I don't know, it just goes well with it.
It
Also,
does.
like,
And it's got the little crevices for the stuff to hold in it, right? The butter, the syrup, the strawberry, whatever you
see,
put.
it's harder to butter a waffle though, because then the butter like gets stuck all in one big hole. You got to dig it out of that hole and then move it, and it's stuck in that hole. And you got to dig it out of that hole. And
But it's worth the payoff is worth it.
it's worth it.
Also, I mean, Dave's pretty good with this one. French toast. I'd probably go French toast over both of those. But if it's waffles or pancakes, it's waffles.
The crazy thing is French toast is just like too sweet and rich for me. I can never finish it without feeling like, bleh. Even though I just talked about syrup-soaked pancakes.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is with French
Bread
toast,
and
but
eggs.
it's
You
like
can put whatever
maybe
you
it's
want.
too much butter or something. I don't know.
It's just bread and eggs.
Yeah. Well,
Huh.
crepes are nice. Nobody ever picks crepes, so
No, crepes are.
waffles. I believe waffles. Waffles. French toast is good though. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chocolate chips. I go more fruit than chocolate chips, but I can see the lure.
Yeah, chocolate chips are good. In
That's
pancakes.
true. Fried chicken and waffles is so good.
Mhm.
It is
That's
too
true.
good. There's a Cat's Diner here in Houston that just has like an amazing chicken and waffles.
Mm.
That's pretty cool. Did you get to actually taste it from the tree?
That's neat.
Hey, Kabuki.
Hey, Kabuki.
So anyway, everybody's here for us to talk about movies, and we're just talking about syrup.
Waffles and pancakes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. You get me talking. Now I'm really hungry about waffles. This is stupid. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about.
Well, what about you? No announcements from you? Nothing going on?
Well, I said the Scryfy thing.
Us though.
In August, if anybody's in Houston, they won't be because I've never met anybody on here from Houston. But if anybody's in Houston, there's a small convention that I'm demoing Critter Kitchen at for the weekend. So
Nice.
that's in August 24th and 25th,
Cool.
Saturday and Sunday. So it's a convention that they've been holding in their game store. And it's crazy because it's a free convention. You just show up and it's free for all the vendors. And they clear out their store to make room for other vendors to be in their store. It's crazy.
That's cool.
But it tells everybody about the place and stuff. So
Sure, yeah, it gets people in. Sure.
that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, no, nothing I can talk about.
Sure, yeah. Same here.
All right, so let's talk about movies, which is why everybody's here. 1993, huge year. And it's, before this might be so far the best year for movies out of the 90s, I think.
There are some good ones earlier, and there's definitely some good ones coming. And I think the bangers that were on this list, they're less than the others. But the ones that are here are bigger than the others.
I feel the other way. I have a longer list than last year's. And I had too much trouble like moving them around. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know there's going to be a few on here, a few that I'm missing from my top 5 that people are going to be like, I can't believe you don't have that on there.
Yeah.
And there's reasons, and we'll talk about that. But yeah.
And Stephen, yes, Eric was born in 92, which he likes to remind us often. Yep. Okay. All right. You want to start it?
Yeah, I'll start it. Okay, so
was there anything that you focused on? Was there anything that how you curated your list? I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? The ones from 92.
Yeah, as always, we're keeping Star Wars and Star Trek off of the list, but I don't think there were any this year, so that's
okay. No, there weren't. Although I noticed, I've been doing this, like we did this with the 80s. There has been a Dragon Ball Z movie released every year.
I know. I've seen that. I'm like, wasn't that last year? And look back.
Right.
I think it's made for TV kind of stuff, though. It can't go to theaters, right? Maybe one did. But
I don't remember Dragon Ball Z being that early, but there were like 2 in 92 or 91. Like there's been one every year for a while.
I know because okay, so in '93 I was what 14,
Sure.
and I'm pretty sure I was near the end of, if not past high school, whenever I found out about Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
And I was like, oh, what's this? And watched it. I was like, okay, it's just two dudes sitting there looking at each other for an entire episode. I'm down.
That's a good summary.
Yeah. I mean, that's all that I can't believe. Like, it's just, I can't believe the power that, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But,
I don't think I've ever watched one.
You would never know if I went Super Saiyan because
No. You'd have a glow. You'd have a glow, though.
but the beard would change.
Just stick out. Yeah.
That's what's slowly happening right here. Yeah. So really, Pat. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I think. Anyway, there's 2 SNL movies this year actually. So we'll get to it. So yeah, I didn't leave anything out. How about you?
What's the second one?
Well, technically it is.
Technically, no, I didn't leave anything off on purpose. I didn't structure it I didn't structure it at all because that's not what I do. But there was nothing focused. There was nothing left off on purpose. There was nothing. It was just straight up the movies from '93.
All right. So we'll start at number 5 then. So my number 5 is one that I'm not surprised that people don't know about, but I'm always happy to evangelize the movie. Be like, if that's the right word, is that right? Tell people about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Tell people how cool it is. And it's easy to get people to go, okay, I'll check that out. It's called True Romance.
Christian Slater.
Yep. Everybody, right? Christian Slater, Christopher Walken, James Gandolfini. There's so many that I just keep I won't remember all of them. There's one guy that's in my head. I always forget his name, but he plays his father. Great actor. But it's just tons and tons and tons of people. Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman plays a white drug dealer who thinks he's black. Basically, it's crazy. It's insane that he played that character. He played that character like a year after Dracula. It was just insane. But anyway, so True Romance. The weird thing about it, right, is that it was written by Quentin Tarantino, but directed by someone else. Dennis Hopper. Thank you. I always forget his name. It was his first script. He wrote it, but he didn't direct it. And it's really weird to see a Quentin Tarantino script made by some other director.
Yeah.
And you can totally see what's going on. Oh, Val Kilmer's in it. He plays Elvis, but you never actually see his face.
Right.
Very weird. Very strange. It's a great movie. I love that movie. And for whatever reason, it didn't hit big or whatever at the time, I guess. So a lot of people missed it, but yeah. That's my number 5.
It's a good one. I haven't seen that in quite a while, but it did have a pretty stellar cast. I remember it being good.
Yes, Brad Pitt. Everybody's in this movie. That's good.
Yeah. Evan.
That's funny. That is not a great movie. I did not enjoy that movie.
It's not, it's
even though I like Bruce Campbell. Not 93 either. Actually. All right, so that's my number 5. So, what's your number 5? Or the first one you'll talk about in a list that isn't ordered in any way?
It's not ordered in any way.
Mine is ordered. So.
You can order them. You're more than welcome to order them. It's perfectly fine. I don't know where to start with this one, though. Because if I go here, this one, I believe, is...
See, if you had them in order already, you would know.
Well, I got to react to what you're doing. So, you went Val Kilmer, so now I think I might go Val Kilmer.
Ooh, comes
Yeah.
out November. Oh,
Yeah.
already?
Yeah. See how I like to link them up though. Like I just like to link them. Yeah, I might as well. I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna talk about, or I'm gonna mention, or I'll bring in my number 5. The first one I'll talk about is, as much as I do love Kevin Costner's Wyatt Earp, Tombstone was just amazing. The Val Kilmer is exceptional in his role as Doc Holliday. I think Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Yep.
Yeah.
It gives you that punch in the hour and a half or hour 45 minutes, whatever it is, and it's just a killer movie. I think, thinking about it as I was making this list, I think if Val Kilmer wasn't Doc Holliday, I don't know if I would like it as much. I like the cast, and I like Sam Elliott, and I like Kurt Russell. Like that's a good cast. But I think what put it over the edge was Kilmer's portrayal of Doc Holliday. I think the moments that I remember in that movie, the lines, the scenes are his, right? Like when he's spinning the cup all goofy because the guy was showing off with the guy like that. It's just, there were so many fun scenes, and they all kind of, the majority of them revolved around him. So,
I mean, absolutely. But, well, first of all, you took my number 1. Tombstone's my number 1. I'll watch it all the time. I love this movie. Every scene is so fun and great. But the other characters are really, I mean, even the driest character is probably Kurt Russell's character, Wyatt Earp, right? But it's like you need him to be that kind of steady, normal guy, so that all these weirdos around him make sense and stuff, right? But yeah, there's so many times that the quoting of this movie just happens all the time. And it's not always Doc Holliday. It's, so.
Oh no, for sure. It's definitely it's a full cast. It's a full thing. But what I remember the most are like what stood out thinking about it when I was going through the list were the majority of them were Doc Holliday. They were Val Kilmer and Doc Holliday in Wyatt Earp, in Kevin Costner's Wyatt Earp later, I believe it comes out later.
Which one?
Did it come out in 92? When did Wyatt Earp come out?
Same year. It was like a couple months later.
In 93?
I believe so.
I didn't see it.
It might have been 92, but
Doc Holliday in Wyatt Earp was not as good or as memorable as Val Kilmer portrayed him in Tombstone. I really think that one stuck with me.
Yeah. Well, he was written better too, but he was also played better. I mean, just all around. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that is the movie that I would say, even if you don't like Westerns, you will love this movie, right? It's just so well told.
Yep.
It's the one movie that even people who don't like Westerns will like. So.
Yeah, there's a few of them too, right? Like I think Young Guns is one that'll tip it for them. Magnificent Seven is old. Yeah, 94.
I knew it was right after this, but I didn't know exactly where.
Yeah, so Tombstone, number 5.
Nope, number 1. And if you didn't do them out of order, I bet you'd be up higher. It's too early to be talking about Tombstone.
You went Val Kilmer. You brought up Val Kilmer in your movie, so I brought up Val Kilmer in my movie.
All right. Well, then I don't know what you're going to do after my number 4.
Okay, let's see.
All right. So my number 4 is another movie a lot of people don't talk about, but it's so good because it makes you first love the hero and then start to dislike the hero and then really understand that the hero's the bad guy, which was a really interesting twist. And the movie's called Falling Down.
Yeah, I just looked at it. It's on my list too.
It's on your top 5 or whatever, or it's just
it's on my pivot list just in case something else got taken. It's up there.
Yeah, I love this movie. I've seen it so many times, and I love the character. It's one of the best guy going crazy movie. You got Taxi Driver and all these other movies, that kind of thing. But at the very beginning, you're kind of with me like, yeah, this is stupid. Good. Like, fight against those gang guys that want to rob you. And then he starts taking a little too far. Too far, and you're like, oh wait, we'll pull back. Don't do that. And then by the end, you're like, oh man, that sucks that he got here. But you saw how he got there, and it was pretty interesting. Yeah, 85 cents. Yeah, it's hard looking at it today when he gets all mad about something being a certain price. You're like, okay, well, you're really gonna be mad now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Michael Douglas, that movie, I remember when he went off the rails, when he was in traffic, he got out of his car, he just started walking, and like, oh, shit's starting to go.
Yeah. I just couldn't take it anymore. And I just got back from LA, so I know the traffic issues. Like I can compare, but no, actually, I didn't even have that many bad traffic issues there. But I could see. The one thing that's funny to me about the movie, though, is like there's a moment where you're like, okay, he's against the Nazi guy, right? Like not the Nazi. He's like a Nazi. I'll just call him a Nazi. But anyway, you're like, yeah, get him. And then he starts going it too far again, and you're like, okay, all right, calm down. Like that's the twisting moment for me. But there's a lot of hints right before, even McDonald's and all that stuff. It's really good. Yeah.
It's a special movie for sure. It's hard to watch at times.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like the detective who is what's his name? He's an amazing actor. I can't remember his name. Someone tell me on here. He was in Godfather and all that. Anyway.
Oh, and not Anthony.
Robert Duvall. Thank you.
Oh, there you go.
Could always count on her. So his character starts diving into what's going on and stuff, and you're starting to pick up a lot more past stuff that makes sense of the break,
Right.
Days away from retirement. Yeah. Every time you hear that, you're like, oh. Yeah. So anyway, that's my number 4. So what are you going to do with that?
That's a good one.
You get a Robert Duvall one in your pocket?
I don't have Robert Duvall.
Michael Douglas? Yeah, I didn't think so.
I don't have Michael Douglas. But
there's no way you connect to this.
There's absolutely a way.
So you're looking desperately.
No. So Michael Douglas's character, just everything starts to weigh on him, right? He starts going a little crazy, right? He starts taking things a little bit too far, right? Trying to, navigate his day, I guess.
This is a stretch. I know where you're going.
Where am I going?
All right. Let's see.
I mean, I can go twice. I can go to 2.
Now I know exactly where you're going.
Yeah, I'll just, all right. So whatever, it's a stretch. I'm going to talk about Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, not where I thought you were going.
Yep.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yep.
It's not on my top 5. It's number 11 for me, actually.
Mrs. Doubtfire is fantastic. Mrs. Surefire, yeah. You know exactly what's happening, right? Because you've seen it so many times. But I just watched it a few years ago, and I'm still laughing my ass off. I think he's hysterical in it. What he does, he does go off the deep end. He's trying to do whatever he can, right? He's dressing up to be a nanny for the kids because of whatever. It definitely hits different later in life, right, with stuff. And it did when I was watching it when it first came out. Like, it was just hysterical. And you don't see the nuances between what actually was going on. But man, some of the scenes in that are hysterical. I can't find anything wrong with it. It probably should be higher, but there are some in this list that are just killer. So yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, that's a great movie. I mean, like I said it was 11, but the list of 11 is solid. It's all the way through. And it's only 11 because I might have just watched it too much that year and then like killed it for
Yeah.
me. You know how
Yeah.
you can do that some movies? You're like, oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. And you're like,
Yeah.
not this one again. That kind of thing. But I watched it that much because it was funny. And it's a really weird thing. Only Robin Williams can take, which is actually kind of a creepy thing, and make it funny and not let you notice that it's a little weird.
Right.
Yeah, he's psychopath. Exactly.
Yeah, he nails this one. If not for, because we love Robin Williams and he does such a great job, but if you do that in like, I don't know, like a pulp horror kind of perspective, and you do it from the wife's perspective, he's a fucking lunatic.
I think I could be wrong, and don't leave yet to go see, but I think there's a YouTube that like does a trailer differently with the horror music and stuff to make it seem like it's a horror thing.
Of Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
But I've seen them do stuff like that a lot, different ones, but yeah.
Yeah, I think he definitely, I mean, that character, right, having the over-the-top kind of thing, like, it does work, and Robin Williams does make it work even better. But, yeah, if you look at that from a different perspective, like Eric said, like, definitely absolute lunatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, because while he's planning it, they're, like, doing little singing dance stuff with its friends, and, yeah, so you're just like, oh, okay, this is funny. You're not thinking, like, wait a minute, you're a crazy ex-husband dressing up to invade your wife's life, and it's just creepy if you think about it.
Yeah.
It never goes in your head because of the way they do it. Not until later, right?
Of course.
But yeah. Good call. I do not think that connects to falling down.
Well, he loses his mind just like Robin Williams lost his mind.
I think he had already lost his mind.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, let's see. All right, so my number 3. My number 3 is if it wasn't for Tombstone and my number 2, it would absolutely be my number 1 because I've seen this the most. It's like I keep reliving the same movie over and over and over again. Groundhog Day.
So that was the other one I was going to talk about, if not Mrs. Doubtfire.
That's the one I thought you were going for.
He starts getting dark, right? It's really dark at times for him. Yeah.
Yeah, and it would be. I like there's been people that like try to figure out how many days he actually did it. I can't remember what it is now, but people came up eventually like with like years and years of doing it over and over again. Yeah, I agree. And this is crazy to say because I love Ghostbusters so much, but my favorite of his movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the comedy, but then the growth of the human being at the same time. That's just really fun to watch. And there's so many quotable moments in there. Yeah, there you go.
Really?
Yeah, that's insane. But if you think about it, like all the different stuff that he's an expert at the end, you know, they say you have to do like 10,000 hours of something to become an expert. And there's probably been many days of wasted time too, right? So on top of all that, you have to become a pianist, you have to become a sculptor, all these different things he was able to do.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Good morning, Carrie. Yeah.
That's your number 3. That was good. That was one of the ones I was going to talk about.
Yep. That's my number 3.
Nice. What was your 5?
True Romance.
True Romance, right. I didn't write that down.
The bank robbery alone. Yeah. I would watch that over and over again. No pun intended.
Yeah. That's a good one. It is a good one. I mean, I say don't drive angry constantly.
Yeah, don't drive angry.
Don't drive angry. I say it's like a staple. Good pick. Good pick.
All right. What do you got another Billy? Billy. You got another
Bill Murray?
Bill Murray?
No.
You got nothing, man. We got nothing.
No.
We got The Bookkeeper. That's the wrong year.
I can't link that one up. That one's going to be tough. Man, it should be hard not to talk about this one, but I
I
might.
heard that. I heard that the groundhog bit him. It's funny.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, Punxsutawney Phil. All right, let's go with. Man, this is gonna be tough. This should be. I'll put it here. This is fine. All right, this is a staple. I watch it multiple times a year.
Multiple.
I'd even watch it off season if I could.
Oh, I know what it is.
Yeah, it's Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yep.
I love it.
The gray one was my number 9.
Oh, I fucking love it. I love the movie. I love the way that they play with the chords when they're in Halloween Town. I wish there were more movies in the trees when we go into the forest and there's all the doors. I wish there was something there for all of them because you want to live there for a while.
Yes.
I love the animation. It's a musical. I mean, it really is a musical, but I love the style. I love the story. There's a lot more to it than it just being this animated kind of feature thing. And it's stuck with me since I saw it the first time, and I'll watch it constantly.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Every time Halloween comes on, that's whenever we start playing the music, and we'll have it on stuff, and it can stay till Christmas. So it's great about it.
It is very, like Kabuki said, the music is, it's weird. There's key changes and things that they do in the music that makes you. I mean, I've played trumpet since 5th grade. Like, I kind of feel like I know a little bit about music. Like, I played it all through college. And there are times in that, like, it hurts me to listen to because of the way that they play with the key changes and the notes and the off notes. It is wild, but I think it works so well in what they're trying to do because when the What's This comes on, like, it flows nicer and it sounds a lot prettier. A little bit of time changes and stuff that makes it a little bit weird, but I think they do it on purpose. I think it's done pretty perfectly to make you feel a certain way while you're watching that thing. But yeah, the music is wild, like weird and wild.
Yeah, and this is interesting. I didn't know until recently that Burton didn't direct it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, Elfman's amazing.
Yeah, it's a good number 3.
Yeah, I would struggle to not put that number 1 because of the list here that I do still watch it yearly. I don't necessarily watch the others that regularly, even the ones that like are mentions. But that one I watch it multiple times a year, but mostly around holidays.
Yeah, cool.
Also, that would be hysterical if Chris came in with 2 and 1, both being.
You ruined my joke. I was about to do it.
Oh, that was so funny.
Fine. That's why I didn't put it up there.
Oh, I'm not watching.
Fine. My actual number 2 then. This is a movie that blew me away as a kid. Blew away most people, even if they were adults.
Yeah, you're with it, aren't you?
Yeah, of course.
How is it not your number 1? Oh, because Tombstone beat that?
Tombstone beat it.
Oh, man.
Tombstone beat it because Tombstone is still watchable. I mean, this is still watchable, but like I'll watch Tombstone anytime I have to kind of be in the mood for my number 2, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that was the one I was going to hold on to talk about at the end.
Yeah, I mean, Jurassic Park, everybody already knows. Well, here's the thing: if you weren't around at that point, if you I don't know, were born in like '92 or something stupid like that. If you weren't around at that point, then when you see it, you're just like, yeah, dinosaurs and stuff. But when I was a kid and I was sitting there and you remember whenever like he sees it for the first time, the main character, he like stands up and it tears his glasses off and he's just like his face. That's exactly what I felt whenever they showed the big, what was it, Diplodocus or a Brontosaurus or whatever. I think it was Diplodocus. I could be wrong. But the big, giant, long-necked dinosaur. And I was just like, oh, my God, that looks real. It's not claymation, because that's what it was before all that stuff. Just this bad, awful stuff. They invented that stuff for that movie. It was amazing. Yeah, it was incredible. And of course, at that time, I was already like, I wanted to be a paleontologist and stuff like that. So I was already just eager and loving the movie. So
yeah.
Do you think he's That's funny.
That scene, specifically, that scene where they're in the Jeep and he's looking and he grabs her head and turns it, and then we see it.
Yeah,
like goosebumps. I still get goosebumps like that, because that hits. If you take the music out of that scene, it's like, oh, cool, look at that. That's pretty neat. But the way the music is building up to that moment, and when you turn around, that hits.
Yeah, the music is amazing.
Unbelievable. I mean, John, it's ridiculous.
And the take, like, even the little stuff, like where, Elliot's talking about the how he thinks they came from birds and blah, blah, blah. And at the end where he looks and he just sees the birds flying and he has a moment, like just little things like that added in there. And what could just be described as, monster movie or creature movie kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's just so much good stuff in there. It's just,
No,
it's
for
too
sure.
good. It was really hard not to make it my number one because of the impression it gave me as a kid. But, yeah.
And it still does, right? Like, you say what you want about 2 and 3, fine. The Jurassic Worlds are good. They're more modern. There's a lot more CGI in it, but they still give you the jump scares. They still give you the little bit of nostalgia, right, with the Jeep. And when you go back into when dinosaurs walk the earth, or the banners laying there, like there's still a lot of those nods to the older stuff. But I'm watching, and if you haven't yet, I think it's really worth it. I'm watching the Jurassic World animated series on Netflix. So there's Camp Cretaceous, which follows the 6 kids that get selected to go to Isla Nublar for like a summer camp kind of thing. And it goes 5 seasons of it. And it's definitely not a kid's show. Like they cut away when someone gets eaten, like one of the, dumb soldiers or whatever gets eaten. Like they allude to it happening, but they cut away before like he's in the dinosaur.
Oh, okay.
But they do 5 seasons of that, and then they just released Jurassic World Chaos Theory, which is a flash forward. I guess Camp Cretaceous could be a flashback, and this one's modern, but whatever. Of the kids, years later, and it's really, really good, like really good. And when I first started watching it, it was more in the background, like Luca was watching it, and like I wasn't really paying attention to like all of the nuances that were going on, but after a few watches, putting it all together, just recently I sat and watched them because there were gaps I wanted to know about, because I watched an episode. I was like, wait, that doesn't make sense. Where did that even come from? So now I had to fill in the gaps. So I was watching through it, and it's really well done. Huh. And there's that buildup in that music, that punch where we see it for the first time in the original Jurassic. They're still using that cadence in the show.
That's pretty cool.
Feeling when I'm watching it, it's really well done. It really is.
That's pretty neat.
You know how we feel about animated shows, so
yeah,
definitely watch it.
I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah, technically there's 2, and they have an interactive one. They have a Camp Cretaceous interactive one where you can decide, like you hit a button and they do this.
Yeah, I've seen the interactive stuff. Yeah.
So they have Camp Cretaceous, they have the interactive one, and they have Chaos Theory. And they're I haven't done the interactive one, but the other 2, they're definitely they're worth watching.
Yeah.
I thought that said snorkeling under your parents' bed, and I didn't understand it.
It's a water
back here, like the computer's farther away, and I'm glowing about Jurassic Park. And I thought as a 5-year-old you were snorkeling under your parents' bed, and I was like, okay, like
it was a waterbed.
Well, it made sense that the nightmares came after it.
All right, so what's your number 2 that can somehow be tied in with Jurassic Park?
Well, there's no fucking way, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you even? I can't do it.
If anything, I tied into your number 3 from claymation to CGI.
It's a stretch, though, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'll go. I mean, I could. This one works for me, and then. Well, no, that should then be my number one, right? Oh God, this is bad. You put me in a bad spot now. You put me in a very bad spot.
I mean, yeah.
All right, I'll do that.
I don't know where I would go.
That's fine. I'm gonna do this one. This is fine. I'm gonna go with Three Musketeers.
Took my number 6. I was going to replace my number 1 with.
Oh, I love it. I had other ones I could talk about. I'm like, of these, like I think Three Musketeers kind of it slapped a little harder.
All right, fine. I'll go to my number 7. Talk about your Three Musketeers.
Yeah, Three Musketeers. I remember watching that for the first time, and I was in awe in the grandiose nature of what they were doing with the fighting and the scenes and also like the lore of what the Three Musketeers were. The cast was great, right? You got Chris O'Donnell, you got Oliver Platt, you just got a really good cast there, and I really did like I like the stories. So to see that on the big stage, I guess on the screen, to watch that movie unfold and to get a little bit, I mean, movie magic, right? With a lot of the adding in whatever, it's not a historical fiction kind of movie. But I did appreciate what they were doing and bringing that story. Same thing with Count of Monte Cristo, like the way that the story kind of had this impact with reading it, and then you see it like kind of portrayed on the screen in this bigger fashion was really cool.
Yeah, this is one of the first movies that really got like comedy and action put together in a really nice way. Yeah. I mean, they did it several times in other ways, but with like thematic stories that were like, you know, the Musketeers and stuff like that. There were some moments in like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, for instance, that were funny. But this one just kept like, and it's not a comedy, but it just kept having funny moments and interesting things, and just kept you like happy the whole time. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there were moments. There were definitely moments, but it felt like you had this underdog story happening, right? Like this kid wanted to be part of the Musketeers, and then you meet the Musketeers, and they're just like these guys that are like whatever. It was cool. I that one stuck with me. I haven't
Tim Curry. Tim Curry was great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, Three Musketeers. I can't. There's no way you fucking top Jurassic Park. Fuck.
That was a good one. All right, so not my number 1. My number 1 was Tombstone. Not my number 6. My number 6 was Three Musketeers. So we'll go to my number 7. This one is not rewatchable, but it's so good that I have to put it on the list. I say it's not rewatchable because it's so emotionally draining that I've only seen it twice.
Yeah.
But it's Schindler's List.
Yeah.
So it's going to be on anybody's list if you've seen it. List for 1993. I believe it won the Oscar. How could it not? So I'm not going to say anything about it that hasn't been talked about a ton of times. But I saw it in the theater when it came out, and that was just. I mean, when you're 14 or whatever age I was, you hear about stuff, but when you experience it, like that movie shows you. That was, my mind goes to scenes all the time about that, things just pop in there and stuff. So, that was a really strong one. I think it needs to be watched by people who haven't seen it at least once, but it's not, it's not a Groundhog Day. You're not going to be watching it a lot. Exactly once. Yeah. But it's a very moving movie, and Liam Neeson deserved all the praise. I mean, he did great. Ben Kingsley, it's really good. Yeah.
There's that series I talked about when we talked about Misery, and we looked it up, and I forget it already. But there's that Stephen King series that's kind of living in Stephen King's world. It's a TV series, and they're bringing in actors and characters, not actors, characters from different worlds of his, right? And I forget the name of it again, but Tim Robbins, he plays a role in the newer season that I saw of it, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of nods to Schindler's List. I haven't seen it in forever, but I'm pretty sure he's playing a character like after the events of the movie, right? He goes wherever, and I'm pretty sure he's playing that character, but I'm not sure.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, the red jacket thing was just yeah. So you can't talk about 1993 movies and not mention that one.
I mean, it's the number one, right? I mean, Jurassic Park and that are probably the top two.
Yeah, and there's a difference. We've talked about this before. There's a difference between technically the best movies and our list of our favorite movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've said many times, Rogue One is probably the best Star Wars movie, but it's not my favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah, sure.
And you
well,
separate those two things, so yeah.
That's like saying Hudson Hawk and Drop Dead Fred are good movies. Like, they're not at all,
right?
But we love them.
It's on the favorite list, but it's not technically a good movie.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So you got your number one.
You should be able to nail it at this point with all the stuff that we've taken off the list.
Let me see here. Wait, what was your number two? It was Three Musketeers.
It was Three Musketeers.
Let's see. Looking at this list, I won't say it, but let me see if I can guess what it is. It would be that. It would be that. I can't imagine what it would be actually, because I think we've talked about all the best movies so far. So you think you have one that's better than all of the movies we've discussed?
Not better, but definitely in my top five. I'm not
in that world.
It is.
Oh, I know.
It's a good movie, and it's top 50 for sure.
I know what you picked. It's a sports one, right?
It's not a sports one. That's a good one.
Oh, okay.
Rudy is a good one. It's a good movie. It's a tearjerker. It's also Sandlot's a really good one.
You probably went with Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah, I watch it every night before I go to bed.
Or Coneheads. Coneheads probably.
Nope.
All right, what you got?
They're knocking off some good ones though. Gilbert Grape is a good one.
Super Mario Brothers
is not a good one.
Nope.
It's a fun movie, but it's not. I mean, it's not a good movie. It's a Batman movie.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't think you would do that, but Phantasm, right? Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh, yeah, Mask of the Phantasm. Absolutely. Right. I am a huge fan, as you know, of Batman the Animated Series, and yes, this fits into the Batman the Animated Series. And we always talked about not talking about the games that we've designed or co-designed in our shows, but I didn't have anything to do with any of the animated series or the movie. So I feel like that one deserves to be talked about. I loved that movie. That movie was fantastic. It did so well. Just to continue the lore of the animated series, to throw that mystery in there. They gave you characters that are just iconic in the Batman lore. It was a great animated. That and the Return of the Joker in the Batman Beyond was an actual movie. And they did a really good job in throwing that into like the series as well. But Phantasm was brilliant. It was so good.
Yeah, it was 93. And that surprised me too, because it feels like something that was made like a couple years ago. If you watch it now, like it holds up all the way. It is really good.
Well, you've seen the new Batman series that Bruce Timm's involved in too, right?
I have seen that. That looks really fascinating.
It's got that same kind of vibe to it, right? It's got that darkness. It's got the weather involved. Like it's got a lot of cool things going on. So I'm hopeful it's going to be at least as good. From what I've seen, it looks pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Plus, it's got Bruce Timm. So I mean, it'll be done well. Although I think J.J. Abrams has his fingerprints on it too.
Oh yeah.
I think. It's got two big uns. I think it's JJ.
As long as he doesn't write it, I'm okay.
Right. No, I don't think Bruce Timm would allow it. So we'll see.
Okay.
Also, speaking of Batman and animated stuff, I started watching Batwheels.
I don't know what that is.
Yep. So it's another animated series on Netflix, and it's about their vehicles. So like when Batman and Batgirl and Robin are on their missions or whatever, the vehicles like I don't want to say come to life like
it's something you watch with your kids. This is like a kid that okay.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely is, but it's not, especially if you like because they do the other characters justice. So like Mr. Freeze is in it, and Joker and Harley, and like they're in it, and their characters in it, and Batman's Batman, and Robin's doing his thing, and like the characters, the action's happening with the characters, and there's a storyline going on. But then the vehicles have like a personality, and they like talk to each other, and like have eyes in the windshield, and their grill is a mouth, like that kind of goofiness. But it actually does really well in the lore of Batman. Like it gives the characters a different perspective on like watching something that's not stale. It's good.
Interesting.
Also, there were a lot of things like I saw Demolition Man come up. That's a fantastic movie.
Yep.
I don't know how well it holds up now, but I remember that thing being fucking epic the first time I watched it.
I imagine it holds up as well as you think it does in your head, which is probably not well unless you have the nostalgia of enjoying it at the time. Right. But I mean, Wesley Snipes and Sly Stallone, I mean, it's just too fun. It's a lot of fun, right? There's a lot of holes in that stupid movie, but it's funny. Sure. And Sandra Bullock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few. There's a lot of people talking about different ones in here.
Good ones.
Oh, watched it recently. I haven't seen it recently. Still stands up. Yeah, maybe because I saw someone mention Fire in the Sky.
Mm-hmm.
That was a like crazy movie. Again, one I only needed to watch once, but it was the whole abduction scene that was the best part. Everything else was just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of boring. Like they kind of dragged it out too long. I don't know.
I remember watching it once.
Yeah. Dave was in this. You remember Dave?
Oh yeah, with the fake president.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was a fun one. Two good legal drama ones, Pelican Brief and The Firm.
Yeah. Pelican Brief was good. The Firm was better.
See, I feel the opposite. Like I like both, but I liked Pelican Brief more. That brief. Yeah. I need to rewatch them though. It's been so long.
Yeah, I remember the mystery in The Firm being better, although Tom Cruise's acting was horrific.
I don't remember. I mean, at that time, I don't remember if I really paid that much attention to Tom Cruise's acting.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
I mean, he didn't do bad in A Few Good Men, and that was the year before.
Moments that are just overacting that he's known for. He does that in The Firm.
I don't know if it's overacting. If you see him in real life talking, he might be he might be lower.
Good point.
I mentioned Coneheads, which is stupid.
Yeah.
It was a dumb movie. But I did like the old SNL sketch. So that was the SNL one. The other SNL one was Wayne's World 2.
Oh, right. That was
technically SNL because it comes out of that. But
yeah, I'll give you that.
But it wasn't that great, unfortunately.
No, it wasn't. The only thing I remember from that was Camera 1, Camera 2.
Camera 1, Camera 2.
Camera 2. Camera 1, Camera 2. That was it.
Aerosmith was in it.
Yeah, but I can't. I don't remember any other lines from that. And until you said that, I completely
Native American
Tyler being in there.
Oh yeah, that was the whole point. Was making a show for that. Yeah. Totally. I don't think I ever saw Searching for Bobby Fischer.
That was a good one.
Was it?
Hmm?
I mean, it should be. Everybody talked about it.
That's a good one. I'm sure.
I never saw Perfect World. I don't think. Which one is that?
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I might have seen it and just not known. Rudy is the one I thought you were going to say.
Good movie. Really good movie.
Good movie. It never really hit me because I saw it later when
Yeah.
it came out, and because it's about football, I just didn't really connect with it. Of course, it has elements in it where anybody could connect to it, and so I still think it's a good movie and enjoyed it. But yeah,
It's also like young John Favreau too.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
it's his friend.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I'm pretty sure it's John Favreau.
Yeah. 6 Degrees of Separation.
Mhm.
That's a weird one.
Yep.
Especially for the time, right? Will Smith, you're used to him being like the Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Yeah.
He plays a really strange character in a strange situation. It's pretty interesting. Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Men in Tights was on my. That's just a fun one. That one's on my list.
Yeah, I don't know how much that one would hold up.
Yeah,
I mean, I like everybody involved and stuff, but
I remember it being goofy. I just remember it being goofy, not necessarily good. Also, The Fugitive.
yeah, I didn't kill my wife.
The Fugitive is a really good
I
movie.
don't care. Yeah, and it's because of those two characters, right? Like it could have been any other story of some guy like I didn't kill my wife and run off and stuff like that. But you got Han Solo running from Two-Face, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Yep.
Yeah, I can imagine it's still good. I need to watch it again. I haven't seen it in years, but yeah.
Yep. And I think a guilty pleasure for me on this one, and one I also watch yearly, is Hocus Pocus.
See, I've never seen it. It just looks so corny.
It's a perfect Halloween movie, and it is absolutely corny.
Yeah, I think I'm past the age in which it could be like hooked into me, and then nostalgia keep it good.
Yeah, there's no way it would do that for you.
Yeah.
No way.
So I will just leave that, for you to enjoy. And
They didn't redo, but they did a sequel. I think it went straight to. I don't think it even had a theater release. I think it went straight to Netflix, maybe.
I thought it went to Disney Plus or something. It was recent, wasn't it?
One of those streaming things. But yeah, like Nikki said, it is definitely cheesy. I mean, with the guy that plays the zombie, what's his name? Fuck. The guy that plays the zombie. I don't remember his name in it, but he's an iconic character in a bunch of other movies. I'm not a Bette Midler fan, but I think the three of them together with Sarah, what's her name? There you go. Whatever the hell her name is how come I remember?
We're so informative on this list.
Yeah, it's Sarah something.
Bette Midler and a bunch of other people.
Sarah Jessica Parker, and just the cast of them. They're really funny moments. I like the lore of what's going on. Like they give you a nice little background of the witches, like the Salem witches, and like it is really fun. But yeah, it is a cheesy. It's like I don't know. It's just a cheesy Halloween movie for sure.
Yeah, Dazed and Confused is my next one after Schindler's List, which shows you how weird and eclectic this list is.
Yeah.
I love that movie, but so much more for the soundtrack of that movie.
Yeah.
That was the first movie soundtrack that was all like songs that were in the past that I started listening to and just over and over and over. But of course there's, Matthew McConaughey and all those other. There are a lot of great stuff in there.
There's
Doug Jones. He's
Jones.
a zombie. Okay, I was just talking about him the other night. Yeah.
Yep.
He's in Star Trek.
There's a donut shop in Syracuse called Glazed and Confused.
That's funny.
Yep. And where we meet on Tuesdays at Bullfinch, Dave and Glazed and Confused collaborated on a beer called Underwater Donut Streams. And it's something, there's like
the submarine thing.
No, I guess it's something. There's this thing that Dave reads about this, not Combat Carl, but Dungeon something Carl. I don't know. It's supposed to be really good. He's trying to get me to listen to it. It's some audiobook or podcast or something. And yes,
Dungeon Crawler Carl.
yeah, that one. So I guess it's something from there. But what they did is they took this Dizzy Pig. Glazed and Confused calls it a Dizzy Pig. It's a glazed donut with like bacon on top, and he put it in the fermenter and made a beer out of that flavor. And it's really fucking good. I mean, everything he's done is really good, but that one specifically comes from Glazed and Confused, which is, Dazed and Confused.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see. What else? You got a list of other. Oh, So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yeah, that was. It was good. I remember watching it, and I think I laughed a couple times.
I should see it again. I don't. That was before. Actually, Wayne's World 2 came out the same year. That's funny. That was before you ever saw anything else from him. Like you hadn't seen Austin Powers yet and all that stuff, right? So
right.
I should see it again.
Yeah, I don't know if it. I don't know. It was okay.
I got two more we haven't talked about, which is strange because one of them was pretty big.
Yeah, we hit all mine. What do you still have left?
Last Action Hero.
And what's the next one you want to talk about?
Yeah. Anybody who doesn't like The Last Action Hero is totally justified in not liking The Last Action Hero.
Yep.
But I thought it was so stupid and silly that,
Sure.
I thought it was fun. I probably would never ask anybody to watch it. So
it was a thing.
Yeah, I need to watch it again to reassess that one. And the other one is Rising Sun.
Oh, that's Connery and Snipes. Yeah.
Connery and actually, that's weird. He had I just said his name. Wesley Snipes had that and Demolition Man the same year.
Yeah.
I watched that movie a lot. Oh, and what was her name? She plays Wayne's girlfriend, and she's in here. Tia Carrere.
Tia Carrere. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yep. She was in it as well.
Yep.
Wow. Good years for them.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I don't know why I liked that movie so much, but I watched it a lot when it came out.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Rising Sun or
yeah, Rising Sun, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, those are blockbusters, right? Like those two actors are like amazing coming into 93. Wesley Snipes and Connery are like, they're just hitting on all cylinders. So you put them together, it's like, yep.
It was a weird mix too, because it wasn't like a buddy cop feeling. Like they kept butting heads the whole time. And like Sean Connery was like, I'm going to teach you the ways of blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I don't need you to teach me nothing. Like the whole time it's like, leave me alone kind of stuff. And yeah. Simkai, I think he called him. Yeah. No love for Rising.
Really? Yeah, it was a good one. I mean, I definitely remember liking it when I watched it. It's not one I would go out of my way for, but I remember liking it.
Yeah. But yeah, great year. 93 was great.
Very good. Some iconic. Like I said, like there are some like from the other lists that were amazing for their year, but I find it hard to beat some of the ones that are on this.
Yeah. So far, I think this is the best year of the 90s. So far.
Yeah. Like Jurassic Park, like trying to beat not only what it's done, what it did for when it came out, but what it's done since. Like it's done a lot.
Yeah, and it's crazy. They invented that technology mid-development of the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, of the movie.
Yeah.
Like I watched a behind-the-scenes thing, and it was somebody. They had told him like, don't spend your time doing that and stuff. So he went and kind of just did it on his own, and then kind of timed showing it whenever somebody was walking by of importance so that they could see it on the screen. And we're like, what is that kind of thing? Like, that's risky to like, they were going to go a whole different route with animatronics and stuff like that. And it was,
they were good. Like the animatronics in it were good. Like the parts where it was good, but had they not done the other stuff, like it wouldn't have been as good.
Right.
Yeah.
Army of Darkness was last year, was it? Yeah, it was on my list. It was in '92.
Yep.
Was it? I didn't know that. Michael Crichton book. Huh.
Who
The more you know.
Jurassic Park, right?
Oh, good year for him. No,
Isn't Michael Crichton Jurassic Park?
is it? That sounds right.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, it's the internet. We're on the internet, so we'll just tell you whatever.
I'm sure, and someone will correct me. I'm sure. I thought Michael Crichton was Jurassic Park.
We're on the internet, so anything we say is correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. So anyway, that's our list from 1993. No Hudson Hawk issues. I saw nobody yelling at us for.
Almost. I mean, you could say Nightmare Before Christmas, maybe, and Hocus Pocus.
Well, Hocus Pocus wasn't on your list. It was just. I mean, it wasn't on your top 5 or whatever, right? Yeah. And I don't think. I mean, some people's favorite movies are movie is the Nightmare Before Christmas. I know it's one of my wife's favorites movies. So, you know, it's so unique that if it hits the right chord for someone, you can't like say, what? How dare you know?
Yeah. I like how the way you said that, and maybe somebody can go back and clip it. It made it seem like you have multiple wives.
One of
my wife's favorite movies.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know.
You do things different in Texas. That's all.
That's true, but not that. No.
Sure. Yeah, a little bit northern states.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good list. I mean, it's just gonna get. I think it's gonna get harder and then dip a little bit, and it'll be easier, and then it's gonna get just massively harder. Well,
I mean, I've already said 99 is
brutal.
Probably since '84 been the best movie, right? There's just tons and tons in my way. There's tons and tons and tons of amazing movies in '99, which was crazy that they were all in the same spot. Because they're movies you still talk about today. Here, let's get to this.
We talked about The Fugitive. We talked about it. There's just some that are a little bit better. It's on my list. It's just not. It wasn't in the ones I wanted to mention. I do like it. I love Harrison Ford. I mean,
also, there's been a lot. When it came out, I remember it was a huge deal, right? Everybody talked about The Fugitive. And when it came out, there weren't a lot of movies that felt that way. You know what I mean? Like, there were stories like that and all, but the way they did it, it was so tightly done. Like, the script was tight. You were constantly interested. There was mystery, all this stuff. And they hadn't done anything like that, exactly like that. And since then, there's been a lot of fugitive-like movies, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you were to show The Fugitive to someone today, they'd be like, yeah, I've seen movies like this, you know, that kind of thing. Just like if you show Pulp Fiction today, they were like, yeah, it's one of those movies that are like fun and jump around. And you're like, you don't understand. It was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing for Jurassic Park. You show that, yeah, they're dinosaurs.
Yeah, sure. Now, sure.
Yeah. There's something just great about growing up in this time that has that nostalgia, you know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot changing in the 90s, and I think the movies are kind of representing that through technology and media, really.
Well, Mike mentioned The Sandlot.
Because I thought, sports-wise, you thought I was going with a sports movie, and Rudy and Sandlot are there. Sandlot was good. Sandlot, same thing with Rudy, and I love Rudy, but I would go back and watch Rudy before I went back and watched Sandlot. Like, it was good to watch, but I never wanted to watch it. Like, I think I watched it twice, maybe 3 times, but I never really wanted to go watch it multiple times.
Yeah, I saw Sandlot way after I was an adult. And so it, you know, doesn't have the nostalgia feel for me. And at the same time, I played sports as a kid against my will. Like, my parents were like, go play this or whatever, go play baseball, in little league or whatever, and I did not like it or enjoy it. So I don't have any connection to it personally.
Brandon just mentioned Cool Runnings. I would go back and
no.
watch Cool Runnings over watching Sandlot anytime.
John Candy. Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
I also don't have any connection to what's it called? Like the thing that bobsledding?
Bobsleds, yeah.
Yeah, but that's a hilarious movie.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
It was just on, where the hell was I? I think I was downstate at my mom's and it was on TV and I was watching it. Not a good movie, but it's a feel-good movie, right? They all band together and do the thing and TV.
Ooh, hot take. I think everyone's forced to play sport. I mean, some people enjoyed it. I remember my cousins enjoyed it. I just, I was in the right field. That should tell you all you need to know.
You in the right field?
They put me in the right field.
Sure. As opposed to the wrong field?
Well, yeah, it was definitely in the wrong field. No, I'm just saying that's where you put the kid who doesn't care or do anything because nobody ever hits the ball out there.
That's not true at all.
When you're in Little League and T-ball, yeah, it is. It never even gets out there.
Wow. Okay.
There was once it did, and I was sitting in the grass putting dirt in my hat, and I watched it roll by.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Right field, yeah, the most boring spot of all.
Interesting.
See? Yep.
What?
That's where you put your weak player.
Well, not if you have a left-handed batter. I mean, unless you didn't have a lot of left-handed batters when you were growing up.
If the whole team is left-handed, then sure, you switch. But for the most part, you're going to have right-handed batters.
Sure, I guess. So the ones that went to you were from left-handed batters, and you didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Wow.
Didn't want to be there. Plus, it's Texas. It's hot.
Interesting.
There you go.
Yeah, Texas hot. I don't know how you play.
I don't think it was that hot when I was a kid.
Hmm.
I don't remember it ever being that hot.
I definitely don't believe you.
But anyway, that's our list. Like it or not. Hope you liked it. Give us a thumbs up and all that stuff if I haven't asked enough. Next week when we're having Daryl?
I believe so. I'll confirm with him.
Okay.
I believe it's next week. We'll have him on.
We'll do some fun stuff with Daryl Andrews. Talk about games and whatnot. Probably play one, maybe not. Do top 5 something. We'll see.
We might be able to play, as long as it's not digital. We should be able to play something. Well, I'll figure out.
Yeah.
I have a couple things maybe we can play. We'll see.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for watching. It was fun. I like this year. I like the 1993 year. We'll see what 94 brings. I already know what 94 brings. 94 is nuts. 94 is insane.
It is. I still think, of all the ones that we've talked about so far, the one that's most iconic for me is Jurassic Park. So it might be hard to.
I think Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves was a big one for me as a kid, and then also Jurassic Park for obvious reasons. So
yeah. It's a good one.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week. And later, what'd you say? Sunday this is the play?
Yeah, Sunday is going to be This Is the Play because West has company in, which I can't wait to hear about. He has. If you watch the show on Saturday, he told a story about how he met these friends that are coming. So it should be a good weekend for him. But we're planning on Sunday. We'll see how Sunday goes. Bye, Alan.
Cool. And Scryfy, if you're watching Acolyte, you'd see what we think.
On Wednesday, yeah?
Usually Wednesday, if not Thursday. Yeah. Tried to do it Wednesday.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.